All right, guys, I've gotten a lot of questions about my mind mapping note-taking system. So I understand that to many people, this might just look like a splatter of words that just got thrown on here and they're all crazy. But to me, this makes more sense than if I were to draw notes out in a cohesive fashion like this, which is somewhat more cohesive, I suppose. But this is, to me, the best system for taking notes quickly and efficiently. So I can take these notes while I watch a YouTube video or while I watch something that has a lot of dense information. I can take them quickly, I can take them easily, and my brain can follow a lot better than when I just write the information in paragraph type form. So the way I do this is I start with several different color pens. I always keep a bunch of pens on my Everbook cover for this very reason. So I start with a group of pens, usually 5 or 6 colors, and I try to make sure that I have 2 different versions of the same color. So here we have a dark blue and a darker blue. In this one, I actually had my light blue, but I couldn't find that pen before I started this video. So let's get started and I'll explain to you how this works and why I feel like this note-taking system is absolutely fantastic. So, as I said, I always put the title in a color that is not going to really be used for anything else unless there is a subtitle. So to break up large sections of notes, I will use usually black, just because I don't find it to be that exciting throughout the note taking, so it's really good for just that one thing. And then I try to use something that my mind jumps to, like red, which is my favorite color for this, for any notes that I know are going to be very relevant to me in the future and something that should hop out off the page. A lot of times, if these notes are regarding any sort of computer work, there'll be hotkeys or maybe an HTML tag I've never run into and I might want to reference one more time before I forget it. Anything like that, honestly. I find it to be a very valuable tool for new information that I find really, really relevant, that I know I will need very soon or frequently again. So I highly recommend that one. And then throughout the page, I try to use different shades of the same color. So I have my light blue and my dark blue, and this is another color of blue I threw in right here because I try to create webs of ideas that do not interfere with each other. So right here we have a responsive versus adaptive versus mobile. This is just about web design. And here we jump to responsive web design. So I didn't want these two sections to mash into each other, even though they're basically right next to each other on the page. And then we also have a couple ideas right here that are more overarching than this second section. So if I switch between different shades of the same color, I find that my mind understands the separation a lot better. And we'll jump to this centerpiece of each web just to understand what each portion is about, and then I can find my information very easily. I can also add to it. Another reason I do not like the paragraph format as much is because this allows me to add any notes I might want. Like I could easily draw another line here and write something about responsive web design right here. As long as I use this same shade blue, I know that it goes to this section. I realize the lines are also a way to tell, but my mind jumps between the sections much easier if they're in different colors. And sometimes when you get things that reach into the corners here, it's just easier for me, and I hope for you guys as well, to see the contrasting color and know immediately it goes up to this section and not possibly down to this section. So likewise, sometimes you end up with notes on the side that are either relevant to something in a web but not important enough to that central idea to end up in the web, or there's just simply not enough room to write it. So sometimes I will take one more color pen, and like here, I did a section 1, 2, and 3 off of here because I felt like it was a much nicer way to keep track of these bigger sections than try to cram them in the web. And this very easily notates to me, this bright green, that there's a section off the side that I should notate anytime I look. So to me, this is the quickest, most comprehensive way to put a lot of information on a page and separate it out in ways that I will fully and completely understand. And then I also like to use a more muted color, like this maroon over here, for anything I find relevant to me, but not necessarily relevant to the notes at hand. So this is a book recommendation. Sometimes I'll have other video recommendations, quotes I like, or anything that I find, just like I said, quintessential to my own life, but not necessarily to the notes at hand. So I've gotten a lot of comments on my video regarding this book. I try to answer them as best I can. So if you guys have any questions or want me to explain this any further, I'd be happy to. I feel like this is an amazing note-taking system that allows you to keep pace with your videos, because sometimes that information flies out quick, and this allows you to not only get the information down quickly, but group it. And then if you need, you can add arrows that go across pages, such as this. Sometimes when you go into a new page, it's a little tougher, but sometimes I will do things like crazy arrows that really stretch the limits of a piece of paper, but allow my brain to get a lot of information. And then sometimes at the end, I will throw in another couple colors because there is information that didn't match up with any of this. I like a lot of breaks in color between ideas for quickly jumping between the concepts. So I hope that helps you guys. I really would like to make everybody's life just a little bit more full of the ability to gain knowledge. I know that came out a little clunky, but honestly, I just think we should keep learning. So everybody keep learning. I hope this helps a lot. Thanks for watching.